Angel Food Cake Demo. To speed things up, I've already separated 6 eggs, but we're going to need 12 eggs total. So I kind of made myself a separating station. I'm separating into these first 3 cups and then pooling the yolks in that back cup and then the whites in the other one because I know I need about 1.5 cups of egg whites. If I get the tiniest drop of yolk in the whites, it will not work. They won't fully whipped to stiff peaks, and my angel food cake batter will be runny. So that's why I'm going one at a time. So if I get a tiny drop of yolk in the white, I can discard just that one egg and then move on with the rest. The tiniest speck of yolk will prevent the egg white protein from forming foam, so that's why we separate the eggs. We like to use these egg separators to separate our eggs just because it's simple. You just crack the egg right into it and it catches the yolk for you. Some people like to use the shell, some people use their hands. There's a cool water bottle trick you can use if you have a clean water bottle handy, but this works best for us. Our eggs are on the fresh side, which actually fresh eggs are a little bit tougher to separate. And also it's ideal if you can let your eggs come to room temp, then they're even easier to separate. Another tip, we put our mixing bowl and whisk attachment in the fridge so they're nice and cold. So with the room temp eggs, that lets us get a lot of foam. Here I'll just separate the eggs on fast speed so you can see how that kind of works. I just shake the egg separator back and forth to let the white fall into the bowl. And I'm just doing 3 at a time so it goes a little faster, kind of working in batches for these last 6 eggs. The yolks you can save for a couple different things. There's recipes for cookies. There's something called gold cake that takes about a cup of egg yolks. That's what we're left with after this, is about a cup. I do let students cook the egg yolks if you want. They just are kind of dry because they don't have that white part. So you can put some hot sauce or ketchup on them and doctor them up and they're not too bad. But they do stick to the pan pretty bad without the whites. Alright, I have about a cup and a half of egg whites, so I'm going to add these to the mixing bowl. And we're going to use the whisk attachment to incorporate a ton of air. So like I said, I have a cup and a half of egg whites, and you're going to see as I whip in the air, add the cream of tartar, this is almost going to fill the whole mixing bowl. Into the mixer with a little bit of cream of tartar. The cream of tartar acts as a stabilizer, helps it get that creamy white color, and we're going to whip this on high until we achieve stiff peaks. In the foamy stage, you can see the air bubbles. I'll adjust this up, and this is on faster speed, so it would take longer in real life. You can see the volume has already doubled and maybe even tripled in size, and it's turning to that opaque white color, which is a good sign. Now this was really sped up, but with a couple minutes of mixing and keeping an eye on it, I'm very close to the stiff peak stage. Now you can see how much fuller the bowl is. I'm going to use the whisk to check to see which stage I'm at, and it looks like this is stiff peaks. So now I'm going to add 1 cup of sugar. I don't want to add 1 cup all at once because I can knock out some of that air that we've whipped in. So I'm going to stream it in gradually at the side while the mixer is going. Once the sugar is mixed in, I'm adding some almond extract. That's a key ingredient in angel food cake. You would definitely miss that flavor if you omit it. I'm also going to use pure vanilla extract, which is a bit more expensive than our imitation vanilla extract that we typically use, but worth it for this cake. Add 1/4 teaspoon salt. After those flavorings are mixed in, I can take the batter off the mixer. In a separate bowl, I'm measuring out 1 cup of cake flour and 1 cup of powdered sugar. I'm going to mix that a little bit, and then I'm going to gently fold this into my whipped egg white mixture. So the structure of this cake is a little different than our unshortened cakes. The structure is made up of the egg whites, and our leavening is the air. We're not using any baking powder, any baking soda, yeast. It's all that air that we've whipped into those egg whites. So I have to be very gentle mixing this in so that I don't knock any of that air out. So I'm folding here, cutting down through the center with my rubber scraper, flipping it at the bottom, and then flopping the whole thing over, and I'm working in batches so that I can get everything nicely incorporated without knocking out any of that air. I'm speeding this way up for the video, but in real life we just had to be patient and work all of this dry ingredients into the egg mixture very carefully and take our time. Fold, fold, fold. Alright, once I've got that all kind of combined and all folded in, I need to get it into the tube pan. So most of our tube pans have two pieces, the tube on the bottom and then the sides. So these little feet on the top too are helpful because they help us invert it when it comes out of the oven. So I'm just going to layer the batter into the tube pan as evenly as I can. Get this all kind of spread out. I forgot to mention, we don't do any preparation to the tube pans. We don't want to grease them or flour them because we want the batter to stick to the sides and to climb the sides of the cake as it bakes. So it's really important that we don't prep these pans in any way. Before we put this into an oven, we're going to take a straight edge spatula or butter knife and then just run it through the batter to break up any holes that might be in there. Sometimes you can get some air pockets from the way this thick batter lays in the tube pan. Also, my oven is preheated to 375, and I'm going to bake this for probably 30 to 35 minutes. I'm looking for a cake that has small cracks on the top and looks dry at the end of baking time. I also want to make sure that I've moved the racks in the oven to the bottom so that this has a lot of space because it is a taller pan.